Good morning and welcome to Waking Up with Don. I have two very special guests here today. New Fox stars, Cast and Call. It's the new show that's coming on Sunday mornings at 6:30.
Yes. That's right. Cast and Call Outdoors.
Yeah, and we got Whitney and Walter Woodrick from Weewa.
We say that we're from 101 Windward Way in Weewa, just to add all kinds of W's. But we actually live in the promised land of Southport.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not too far from there. I'm up that way in Lake Muriel.
All right.
Now, I've been to your website, and this new show is like an outdoor show, isn't it, Whitney?
It is, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's a Cast and Call Outdoors. It's going to start in April at 6:30 on Sunday mornings, and it's going to focus on hunting and fishing in the local area, and I'm so excited about it. My dad and I have been talking it up to everyone, and I can't wait.
And you're the star of the show. You're going to be the host.
Yeah. I am, and I'm really excited about that.
So what am I going to learn from watching your show?
You can learn a lot of things.
I know. It's all outdoor stuff, of course,
Yeah.
right? But it's not just hunting, is it?
No, it's not just hunting. We're focusing a lot on fishing too, and it's not all going to be hunting either. You can, we're going to have guests and everything, and you can learn about them and what they do, and we can do a lot of fun things with other people. So I'm really excited.
You know, Walter, I've watched some of the clips for the show on your website, and what's the name of the website?
CastandCallOutdoors.com.
CastandCallOutdoors.com.
Exactly.
What's the whole genesis of this thing? How did you come up with this idea?
Well, we have been involved with Panhandle Outdoors, which is my father-in-law, Whitney's granddad.
Yeah,
for the last
Winston
5 or 6
Chester,
years.
who's been on this station for a long time.
Exactly. And so it just felt natural to have a show be at a different time slot, reach a different audience, and a chance for her to kind of spread her wings and really highlight what having youth involved in the outdoors can do, have families involved in the outdoors. So we're trying to promote those two aspects, as well as the unique vacation and recreational opportunities in and around Northwest Florida.
You know, Whitney, a lot of people have sat there on that couch and told me about, kids have way too much screen time. They're with their games, they're on TV, they're doing all that social networking stuff.
Right.
But you're kind of an outdoorsy kid, aren't you?
Well, I think there's a lot more opportunities outside than on your phone. So I do have a phone, and I'm on it sometimes, but I love to be able to step outside and take in a fresh breath, and it's a beautiful place to be, no matter really what the weather is. It's kind of nasty outside, but I think it's nice to be able to step out and see beautiful creation that God made for us.
That is so true. It's there is no substitute for the outdoors, and we live here in Florida where we have a lot of good weather. It doesn't snow here for the most part. It gets rainy sometimes. Why would you want to stay indoors when you look out the window and you can see how gorgeous it is out there? And there's so many other things to do.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing that we've talked with a lot of people about, is that kids her age, because they're in TV and video games. I mean, just the other day at baseball practice, a kid asked me if we could pause the game. Can we pause it? And he's used to saying to Mom and Dad, pause the DVD, I need to go to the bathroom or whatever. And kids this age are having the mentality that you can pause life.
Yeah, life goes
on.
on.
So in the woods, the woods and outdoors help them learn consequences, and sometimes you cannot pause life. You got to deal with what's been dealt to you.
Yeah, the world keeps turning. We have to run off to a break in the local weather right now, but let's talk more about some of your hunting and fishing experiences on the other side of these messages. And now to your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm, westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I have Whitney and Walter Woodrick. I said it right. That's like a tongue twister, but I got it out.
That's really good.
And their new show called Cast and Call Outdoors, which is going to be on Sundays here on Fox at 6:30 a.m.
Yes.
So you can actually catch it before you go to church.
Exactly right. Or DVR it.
Or DVR it. There you go. A lot of people do that to this show too. I want you to stick around and watch it live, but okay, DVR it if you have to. You've had a lot of outdoor experiences. I could tell just from visiting the website and seeing all of your clips of when you were a little tiny girl all the way up to now, when you're a young lady. Who started you with all this outdoor stuff? Was it Dad? Was it Grandpa? I mean,
I think it was a little bit of both my dad and my granddad. I've been hunting since I was 7, and that was with my dad. And whenever he started hunting, we've been hunting together, since I was 7. And my granddad has been an outdoorsman since he was a little kid. And he always tells me stories about his hunting and fishing experiences and always being outside. And knowing my granddad as well as I do, he's always going to want me in the outdoors. So
I figured, he's taught outdoor ed at Mosley for almost 40 years.
Oh,
yeah. So he's very knowledgeable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And taught a huge proportion of the population in the county.
Yeah, I bet. Now, do you find that when you think about hunting? I'm from the city. I'm a city kid. I grew up in the city. So when you think about hunting, you think about men. Are there a lot of women that hunt, or a lot of girls that hunt?
I've met several women that do a lot of hunting and fishing, and we actually went deep sea fishing with one lady, and her name was Nancy Jo, and she's so nice, and she has a I don't know what you would call it.
This is a company.
She's got a company called Ladies in Camo, and it focuses
Ladies
on
in Camo.
Yeah, and it focuses on women and the outdoors. So that's really something that a lot of people are focusing on, is getting females outside fishing, hunting, whatever you can do, and that's a big market for me. And I figured that I could make a big impact on a lot of ladies sitting around in their house, not really.
Yeah, it's not just for boys.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, girls can hunt too.
Right.
And now a lot of people who are, I guess, quote unquote, tree huggers or whatever, it's like, oh, you're killing these poor deer, or you're killing these poor animals out there. But this is kind of like a population control thing too.
Right.
It's being a good steward of the environment.
Without a doubt, you can do more damage to a population of animals by doing nothing than by actually having a properly managed program. They run out of food to eat, diseases.
Sure.
So it's very good to actually have hunting take place.
So you do this with a certain degree of responsibility too.
Right.
I mean, you know how to handle firearms.
Right.
You know what you can shoot and can't shoot, or what you
Exactly.
can keep when you fish, and
Right.
what you have to throw back.
And that goes back to whenever you're talking about kids on electronics and everything. Whenever they're playing a game, they think that they can pause it, and if they mess up, they can restart it. But this is something that when you're in the woods, you have consequences if you pull the trigger on something that's legal or not legal, or you can keep or you can't keep. And that's what I have to remember myself, is that whenever I pull the trigger, I've got to know what can happen, what's not going to happen, what I need to focus on, what I need to do after this happens. It's a lot of stuff that runs through my mind whenever I make a decision.
And that's life in general.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's decision making and considering your options.
Right.
Whitney, you are a very impressive young lady,
Thank
and I
you.
wish you a lot of luck with the new show. Walter, you should be very proud of her.
Thank
and
you.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Cast and Call Outdoors on Sunday mornings at 6:30 on Fox 28. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, Zenobia Andrews here, your business system strategist, and I am delighted to be here in the Max Out Studios bringing you your Max Biz tip for today. This week we're talking about building systems. We're talking about, in particular, this week, creating a hiring system for you, for your company, for your organization. Yesterday we were talking about, how you can use LinkedIn and Indeed to post these jobs in your job title. Your next step is going to be accepting completed applicants, the job applicants. How are you going to accept those applications once you get them? And then number two, how are you going to screen the applicants? You could possibly do it on the phone, you can do it online, but there's a variety of ways that you can screen the applicants that you not get overwhelmed and frustrated in the process. And then number three, begin to prepare your interview questions. This is so important. You want to make sure that you prepare these questions based off of the client or the potential ideal candidate that you're looking for to bring in on your team. And then here's a bonus for you. As you're creating your system for this ideal client, right, you want to go ahead and start thinking about what is that position's future day-to-day task, their day-to-day job function. You want to go ahead and start creating that system as well, because once they come on board, you're going to want to have something for them to do each and every day. Listen, I'm Zenobia Andrews, your business system strategist, and I am absolutely here to support you. Listen, if you need additional help, you can reach me at www.zenoviaandrews.com. And listen, if you follow me on social media, I will definitely follow you back. And let's continue to press towards the max.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dr. Stephen Favaloro, so you know what that means. It's time for your pet health tip of the week. Dr. Favaloro, thanks for coming back on the show.
Thank you very much.
What do you got for us today? What should we be looking out for now?
Well, I thought today we'd talk about dangerous foods in the household that, people tend to feed their dogs just unwittingly.
Yeah, I'm kind of guilty of that too.
Yeah.
My little dog is like, she hears that cold cut drawer open up in the refrigerator. She comes prancing in looking for a handout.
Well, when I was growing up, I I found out we tried to kill all of our dogs by feeding us half these things. And it's crazy.
Well, some of the things that come to mind are like chocolate. I heard chocolate's no good for dogs.
Well, chocolate is bad for dogs. There's chemicals like theobromine and caffeine, which what they do is they prevent the brain from overstimulating. When you eat the chocolate, you get overstimulated. And so it blocks that ability to stop that. And so depending on what type you eat, generally the more bitter the chocolate tastes, the higher in caffeine and theobromines it'll have. And it can cause a lot of things. It can cause hyperexcitability. It can cause tremors. It can even cause death due to seizures.
Wow.
A lot of things we'll see is increased water uptake, increased urination, just fast heart rate, breathing fast.
So your dog can actually stroke out from eating dark chocolate?
Absolutely. Well, the baker's chocolate, like the cooking chocolate has 7 times more than like the milk chocolate. Now, that doesn't mean you can feed the milk chocolate and be okay. It just really depends on how much they ingest and how much the dog weighs.
Why is that? Is their body chemistry so much different than ours? Do we know why that has an effect on them?
I don't know why it affects them differently than us, because I don't know how we work, because I just do the dogs and cats. But I know that the way that it prevents the brain from calming you down is why they get overstimulated.
Oh, geez, that's awful. Now, what other things do you do? Like my little dog, she'll come up and I'll make a turkey sandwich, and I'll sneak her a little piece of turkey, and Karen will yell at me, say, "Don't give her that, it's no good."
So other than like those type of things maybe upsetting their stomach, they don't really have a toxic effect. Like, say, moldy food. So you have like moldy bread or something like that. Well, they can have teratogenic toxins in them. And so what happens is you feed the dog the food, like a bunch of bread, or they'll go out and eat like a mushroom or something like that, has a similar effect, and it'll cause your dog to tremor. And it generally isn't, life-threatening unless they eat too much, but I mean, it can last for days.
But I've known some dogs that would literally eat anything.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the thing, is it doesn't affect each dog the same way, and it really just depends on how much you ingest as well.
I mean, they eat things that we wouldn't. I don't even want to talk about on the show.
Right.
And you're like, and they seem to survive it. It's crazy.
Absolutely, and once again, not every dog is going to get affected when they eat it. Like grapes and raisins.
Yeah, I've heard about that too. Yeah.
I remember when growing up, my dad used to freeze the grapes and eat them as a snack while he's watching TV, throwing them at the dogs catching them in the air. And
wow.
They never got sick, but there have been a lot of reports where dogs will get kidney failure from eating grapes. And right now, we don't know why. There's a lot of research in the veterinary field right now as to why that happens. But it could be that one grape could do it, or it could be that you need to eat, a whole bundle of them. But since we don't know, it's not recommended.
I know you've put our dog on a pretty strict diet because she's got some issues. So table food is really off her menu.
Well, people are going to feed, table food. It's just that we feed too much of it, so they get more calories than they need, and so that causes obesity. And some dogs, if it's a lot of fatty food or spicy food, their pancreas can't really help, deal with that. So we'll see a lot of pancreatitis, a lot of vomiting, diarrhea, GI upset. One of the things that is really bad, and I don't think a lot of people feed it, but people who cook at home, with rising bread and dough, that's pretty bad. If a dog eats that, not only does it expand and act like a foreign body, but it also produces ethanol. So you get like a lot of discomfort and pain from a foreign body reaction.
And I can only imagine the smells.
And then you get a lot of, ethanol
gas?
or drunk state.
Oh, so your dog can actually get drunk off of...
Well, and then you get a lot of different, metabolic changes inside, and it causes acidosis, so it can affect the physiological system pretty good.
Wow, there's a lot. Growing up, we had a dog that ate everything we ate.
Yeah.
We used to give him leftovers and table scraps, and you name it. This dog ate anything, and we never gave it a second thought.
Yeah, and like I said, most of these dogs do well. It seems to be the ones that never get anything, that get it for the first time, are usually the ones that have the trouble.
I suppose that's true. Well, Doc, thanks a lot for coming on and giving us these pet health tips, and be careful what you feed your dog, I guess. Huh?
Thank you very much, Doc.
And stick with the dog food. You can't go wrong.
Right, very good.
We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Wild Kingdom. Welcome back to Waking Up with Don. I have Stephanie Sinnott here from Zoo World.
Yes.
Which is one of our favorite places. When my kids were little, we used to go there all the time with them.
Aww.
I know, it was fun. Now that they're big boys, not so much.
Well, you're never too old.
No, that's true. Everybody's a kid when they go to Zoo World. What's in the bag? Did you bring me a present here?
I did bring you a present. If you've ever heard the term snake in a grass, I usually travel with a snake in a bag. And I hear that's one of your favorite creatures on the planet.
Yes, I'm a snake lover. Oh my God.
Now, snakes are a cold-blooded creature, so Miss Lucy travels with her own heat pad just to make sure that she stays at a comfortable temperature when it's cool out. But you know, they're really, really misunderstood creatures. She's actually a very beautiful animal, believe it or not.
It is a beautiful animal. And notice I'm ready to run at any second
You are,
now.
and you can touch her as long as it's not near her face, because, well, that's her
No
personal...
chance of that happening.
Well, that's her personal bubble, and quite honestly, I wouldn't like it if you pet me in my personal bubble.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about her getting in my personal bubble either.
Now,
She's not poisonous,
No,
is she?
she is non-venomous.
Okay.
She is a constrictor. She is a carpet python. She's an Australian. She's actually a jungle carpet python. She's an Australian snake. And
I can tell you, Stephanie, I'm more than a little freaked out right now, but
Well,
I'm gonna try and touch
go
this
right
thing.
ahead.
All right,
And you know,
It's
one
not
of the
slimy at
things
all.
that we're able to do at the zoo, being a small zoo, we can have intimate experiences with guests, and we've actually helped quite a few people over the years with their fear of snakes, and try to you know, dispel some of the myths about how creepy and nasty they are.
Yeah.
They're great to have around for rodent control. If you don't want if you don't want family to come by and visit, well, they make a great pet for that. But you know, they do come in all different sizes. They're all pretty well one shape. But they do come, you know, from all over the world, different colors.
I'm gonna have to touch this snake at some point. All right. Actually, he, whatever.
She's not too bad.
I guess
They're
they
not
know the
slimy.
difference. A little cool.
A little bit cool. They're cold-blooded,
Yeah.
which basically means that they're an animal that relies on the outside environment to regulate the body temperature. So the cooler it is, the cooler she's going to be, and vice versa.
What is she doing now?
She's just checking everything out.
Just checking out the
Just
environment.
checking everything out. She'll stick her tongue out. She's tasting the air and tasting the environment to see what's out there
Okay,
and
I
what's
hope I'm
going
not
on.
too tasty to her.
Yeah, well, you know, you're a little bit too large for her to eat, too. They
Yeah.
can swallow large meals, about 3 to 5 times the size of their head, and you're just a tad larger than that, so you should be safe.
Oh, jeez. now, what else did you bring today?
Well, did you want to hold her, or did you want me to
Yeah,
put her
I'll
back?
hold her. I'll do. I'll do it for the show.
All right.
Well,
Come
I
on around
don't.
the neck here.
Ugh.
Okay, and
All right.
just let her hang out.
All right. Does she sense fear?
Well,
Because I'm writhing in fear right now. Take this
I
thing
won't
off
tell
me.
you that.
I hate snakes.
You're doing pretty good,
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, I'm warm,
You
and
are,
yeah.
and you know, she'll just kind of hang
Where's
out
his
with
head?
us.
Ooh,
You don't
no.
want to know. Now, the nice thing about visiting a zoo or
It's
having one
constricting
visit,
around my arm. Is that
you're
bad?
nice and warm,
Oh, that's why. Okay.
is we can travel all over the planet.
Oh, what do we got here?
In one short little trip. We've got an Australian python, and here we have an African pygmy hedgehog, maybe a little more your style.
I have a very important question for you. Do snakes eat hedgehogs?
Not typically.
All right, good.
Not
That's-
typically.
that
They
would be
do
a first for the show,
They do eat
so.
warm-blooded creatures.
Oh my God!
but
It's
we'll
in my nether regions.
She's looking for a place to cuddle up.
Yeah. Well. Oh.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. You don't want to know where the snake's head is right now.
This is Lily. Lily's a hedgehog.
I'd rather have a hedgehog in my lap
You
right
would.
now.
You want to switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my Lord. See you
Come
around.
on, little girl.
Yeah, little girl. Holy mackerel. Whew.
Now, the hedgehog,
Okay, now everybody knows I'm a snake coward.
you did really, really good, though. I'm really proud of you. You
thank
didn't
you.
run away with her, and you didn't harm her, which is the important
No,
thing.
I'm not gonna hurt
Because,
her.
you know, unfortunately, a lot of times when humans don't understand something, if we're afraid of it, we harm it.
Yeah.
If we think it might be a danger, even if it's not, we tend to overreact a little bit sometimes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Snakes don't generally get the
I'm not a snake
good end of
fan. That was
stick.
a.
That was a really good experience.
It was
though.
for me.
Probably the only one I'll get out of you.
Yeah, it's the
but-
last. Do all hedgehogs smell this bad?
Well, that might be me.
Can I touch them?
Sure, just go with the grain. Now,
Okay.
hedgehogs are covered in quills, just like porcupines are. Those quills are very, very tough. They're made out of
yeah.
keratin, kind of like our nails.
Everything here is freaking me out, Stephanie. Everything.
I look to please.
Yeah. Can we get a look at his little face? It is a him or a her?
It's a little girl. Her name is Lily. She's
Hi,
an
Lily.
insectivore.
An
which means
insectivore,
her
which is
primary
good.
diet is going to be bugs. She will eat other things, including melons,
So
fruits,
as
chickens.
weird and creepy as some of these critters may be, they're really kind of good. I mean,
They are.
That Lucy snake hair will,
Yeah.
you know, keep your rodents
She's
under
actually
control.
a very important part of the natural ecosystem which she lives in. and everybody has their place. So unfortunately, when we disrupt it and we start removing creatures from their natural habitats, we sort of disrupt that balance, and we can cause a great deal of problems. But so it's important to learn about them a little bit more. And like I said, you know, snakes, they're really not that bad. You do have venomous snakes,
I'm just
but
freaked out by them.
but they all serve their purpose.
This guy makes noises.
She does. When hedgehogs communicate, or if they're nervous, they'll make noises. They make grunts and groans, and they make little noises. And since she's a nocturnal animal, this is a little bit different a time frame of day for her. So she's gonna, you know, just make sure
She's a little jumpy. Every time I touch him, she kind of flinches.
That's a form of defense, because you're a big, giant, scary thing. You're a big, giant monster.
Yeah.
And she's little, even though she's covered in quills. She wants to make sure that she protects herself.
That's right. Don't you forget it.
So she will make sure that if you go in and you feel nervous, she's going to make sure that you stay nervous, and she might give you a little jump, a little poke.
Top of the food chain, baby. Look
Those
out.
quills do not come out like a porcupine's may. They stay in there. And when she wants to curl up into a nice, tight little ball, there is no chance you can get in there.